Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Archangel853 here, and today I have another review for you guys. This is going to be of the Cybergun Thompson M1A1 version. Before I get started, I just want to let you guys know, please rate, comment, subscribe, all the other good shit. And also, two other things I want to let you guys know. One was that I have a new backdrop, which is basically just my PS3 theme of an M4 fire gun ejecting shells. It's not very realistic. The shells ejected on the wrong side, but you know, whatever. It looks cool, and I thought it'd be a pretty cool backdrop for my videos. So, why don't you guys just tell me how you think this is. If you want a different setup, let me know. If you like this one, I'll keep using it. If I don't get any replies, I'll just keep using this one. Also, another thing I want to let you guys know is that my last video, I noticed it was kind of hard to see the gun because I was wearing a darker shirt, and it wouldn't really contrast, so you couldn't really see the gun. I now made sure to wear a white shirt. That way you guys can actually see the gun a little better. And, alright, that's basically it. Let's get started. So this is the gun itself. Let's just get started with the price and the basics here. Let's give you a good view of it. Alright, so this is the gun. It cost me $210 on Airgun Depot, but you can find it places cheaper. I just bought it a while ago actually, and it cost more back then. I don't know what it costs now, but it's shooting around 750 rounds per minute. It's very average. It's shooting around 370 feet per second, 360, somewhere around that. Also very average. Although one thing that I would consider not average about this gun is the accuracy. What is in here is a 300 millimeter, I believe 6.08 millimeter barrel, so it's not a tight bore, it's a smooth bore, and although I would have to admit, the hop-up and the accuracy are pretty good. I was very surprised by it. But we'll get to that later. So we're just going to start from the rear end of the gun and work our way to the front. So let's start with the butt plate. The butt plate is metal, alright? And what you do it also is the way to get into the battery compartment. What you do is simply open it up, flip this little tab here, and then reach your finger inside, pull, and flip, alright? This reveals the battery compartment. Now on the real Thompson, this would reveal an area where you could store food, cleaning kits, all that other good stuff, anything else a GI would want to keep inside his gun. But in here, for an airsoft gun, obviously, this is the battery compartment. Now, this battery compartment is very good. You can fit some very large batteries in here. In fact, it's so big that I was using an 8.4 Mini in here, and well, it clanks around. That's how much room there is. You can actually, when you're running, you can hear it clanking around, so I would recommend getting some foam inserts. I think the gun does come with some foam inserts, but I have unfortunately lost mine. I'm going to have to find some more. But that's that battery compartment. Next, moving on to the stock. The stock, while it may look like wood, is made of plastic. Just like any other wood component on this gun, stock is made of plastic. Although I have to say it's very good plastic. No creak or wobble on the stock at all. You can just, and if you ever do experience it, you can tighten these two screws on the bottom here. That's what attaches your stock. Just tighten those and you're good to go. The only thing I have to complain about this stock is on the top and the bottom of the stock, right where my fingers are, you can see and feel a seam from where the plastic is joined together. It's not really a big deal, it's just a pet peeve of mine, you know, but whatever. Alright, next getting to the rear sight. The rear sight is made out of metal, except for the sight itself, but the thing surrounding the sight guards are metal. Now the rear sight is fully adjustable, up, down, left, right, windage, elevation, you normal stuff. Also, you can use the rear sight in two ways. You can look through the peephole. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. I'll try to wave it around so maybe you guys get an angle on it. And also there's a notch in the top where you can look through the notch. Now, I recommend using the peephole because one, the hop-up I think is better adjusted, and the sights are better adjusted to work with the peephole. And two, I personally just don't like the notch sight, you know. Whatever, my opinion. Staying at the rear of the gun, we also have your trade markings. Right here it says, you know, where it was made, blah, blah, blah. But right at the bottom, right where it says Made in Worcester, Massachusetts, USA, Auto Ordnance Corporation, where it said on the real thing, right on the bottom, it says Made in China. And this cannot be removed. This isn't a sticker. It says right underneath there. It's kind of funny, actually. It says Made in China right under Worcester, Massachusetts, USA, but, you know, whatever. I don't see why they couldn't have made it a sticker. It could have saved them money, too, probably. And the other side just says the name of the gun, the caliber, and the serial number, and all that good stuff. Alright, moving on to the gun. We have the selector switches. Now, the selector switches are very peculiar things. What you do with this is there's actually two of them. Now, one of them is selecting safe and fire mode. So one of them is only sole purpose is for safety and firing, and then selects your fire mode. That's what the second one is for. My cat's meowing, but that's what the second one is for. And so this is semi and full auto. So the gun does have full auto and semi and a safety function for those guys out there. When it's on safety, the trigger is locked. Alright, the next thing is the mag release. Now, it's not a button like on most guns. The mag release is what I'll call a switch. When you're holding the gun, your thumb is going to be right underneath the switch. Just pull your thumb up, and the magazine will slide right out. Now, we'll talk about the magazine for a second. This magazine is the standard magazine for the Cybergun Thompson. This is what came with the gun. You just simply flip open this thing right here, and you can pour the BBs in. One really cool thing, I don't know if you guys see it, but the mag well is actually indented into here. So when you pour BBs in, they'll kind of force to fall in, and they won't be going everywhere. So that's a cool little feature of the gun. I find that very convenient. Another convenient thing about this magazine is that on the bottom, the winder, whatever, when you turn it, one, there's not a lot of resistance, so it's not hard, and two, it's very big and fat, so it's very easy to pull. So you can just be like on the bottom like this. It's very easy. A lot of other magazines, they're very stiff, very thin, and it can hurt your finger to twist them. This is a very good winding mechanism. Another thing is the magazine attaches via a rail right here, a very sturdy one. Now I'll show you how it attaches. Now, to put the magazine back in, I would recommend pulling back the mag release again, simply so you don't damage it. You attach it to the rail, or the slide, whatever, hit it up, and then release, and it should be stuck in there good. Now, cool thing is that this magazine attaches up to the lower receiver. The entire length of the lower receiver is attached. So, it's not going anywhere. Oh yes, another thing I'd like to mention is that the upper receiver is metal. It's metal. It does scratch very easily, but it is metal. And the lower receiver, unfortunately, is made out of plastic, but it's really not even very noticeable when using the gun. There's not much of a difference between the strength. The plastic is very thick, very strong, nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it breaking at all. Alright, next up is the bolt. Now, the bolt on this gun, unfortunately, does not have a bolt catch, and it doesn't use open bolt. So, like on the real Thompson, when you pull back the bolt, it'll if I were to let go of the bolt, it would stay back because it finds an open bolt. Unfortunately, on the Cybergun Thompson, it flies back forward. There is no functioning bolt catch. Although you do get a bullet, which is ridiculously huge, and yeah, I don't know if that what it looks like on the real thing, but you see this golden thing. I presume they are trying to make it look like the bullet. Tell me if it isn't. But you do get a very good, nice sound when you pull it back. It's just satisfying to pull back. You'll find yourself just sitting here doing this. It's very satisfying. Next up is the hop-up. It's where the ejection port would be. The hop-up is exposed, but I would not worry about any dirt or anything getting into it. It's in there, in the mag release, the ejection port, and it's a cylinder. So you just go twist it this way for hop, no hop. It's very simple, easy to use. You'll be shooting your gun. There you go. It's very easy, convenient to use. Alright, next up is the hands grip. I have mixed feelings on this thing. It's sturdy, it's well built. It's got these ergonomic indents in here for you to put your fingers into. Feels very good. And also, another thing to mention is the pistol grip is also ergonomic for your bottom two fingers, and there's also no wobble in that. Well, I mentioned that right there. Kind of forgot to say that. But, yeah, back to this. No wobble. Ergonomic indents for your fingers, but when you're aiming down your sights, you're just holding it like this. For some people, it may feel unnatural just because it can be a little lengthy. So what I recommend is just holding it by the mag because it's so sturdily in that you're not going to have to worry about it. So it is well built, but I prefer holding it this way. Whatever. Alright, and finally we come up to the end of the barrel and the flash hider. As I mentioned before, this gun has a 300mm barrel. It's pretty accurate for what it is. I was expecting less accuracy out of this thing, and I was pretty surprised when I shot this for the first time. This gun is fairly accurate. I'm not saying it's super accurate, it's fairly accurate, alright? Also, the flash hider, as far as I know, does not come off. The orange tip on it, I mean. If it can come off, please tell me. Tell me how. I don't know how. And the front sight is just a post. You cannot adjust it at all. Right there. You cannot adjust the sight at all. It is in a fixed position. Only the rear sight can be adjusted. Alright, so one more thing I wanted to go over was these sling mounts. The front one is very good. I have no complaints about that. It's in there pretty good. It doesn't jangle around when running. This one, on the other hand, the one on the stock, is just all over the place. I don't like it. I have to say this. I don't like it. When you're running, it's kind of like just like that. And also, the gun does come with a sling, but this isn't the sling it came with. This is a different one because the one it comes with is, in all honesty, a piece of shit. It just looked like it was going to break on you all the time, and this one is a better sling. It's not amazing, but it's better. And I feel more confident using this one than the other one, so I'd recommend getting another sling. And another thing about this gun, final impressions. I would say this gun is definitely worth your money if you're a World War II enthusiast looking into a Thompson, any World War II gun. This is a very good gun to look at, to start with your hunt for. And things you could do with this gun, I mean, you could put a Type bore in it and use it as an assault rifle. It's at that length where you can use it in CQB, use it as an assault rifle if you really need to, even though it's really a submachine gun. I'd recommend using it as that. What I'm going to end up doing is putting a lighter spring in here and maybe some other things to it, I'm not sure, but I'm going to be turning it into a high-speed gun to get it to a ridiculous rate of fire. And it'll, obviously the FPS will suffer, but it's a submachine gun. You don't really need velocity. So overall, this gun is definitely worth it. Again, I paid $210 for it. It gets 350 rounds per minute and on an 8.4, and it gets around 360 feet per second, a very modest FPS. You shouldn't have any problems getting into any fields here. Overall, a great gun. I'd highly recommend it for any World War II enthusiast or anybody who dislikes a Thompson. Who doesn't? This thing is really cool looking. Alright, so please rate, comment, subscribe. That's it. This is Arcade 853. Out.